All right, folks, Sunday session. Thank you for joining me here. We're going to run it up April 23rd, 2023, late night. It's almost 9 o'clock here on the West Coast. I know that's about midnight for those on the East Coast. So I do apologize for that, but it was pressing. You know, I wasn't even going to put together a show. I just got back hanging out with the family, Sunday night dinner, taking out my girls, and I get back and I wasn't really, should I do it? I'm kind of tired. I had a couple glasses of wine at dinner. I'm ready to kind of just, watch a show and pass out. But I go through and I line up. I got like 15 things here that we got to go through at least. And so once again, another pressing episode. I wish that I could keep it down to 10 or 12 minutes for you guys with little clickbait videos. That'd be really good for the YouTube channel and the algorithm. But I find it valuable for the community to understand all of the points that we're going to break down here. I'm going to try to go through in a rapid fire succession, moving on through this episode tonight. Now, we titled it XRP Distribution Continues. And that's not any FUD. We're going to cut through the FUD once again. Many people confused with XRP, the distribution by Ripple, how they're treating it as a reserve currency, how they're being righteous custodians of that reserve currency. And the monetary policy that they've adopted is actually responsible. And the transparency is industry leading. And so when we see XRP getting distributed, when we see the wallets grow, when we see more tokens being issued on the XRP ledger, when we see smart contract hooks coming, liquidity pools on the way, NFTs already, some fun stuff being built over there, massive amounts of utility on the way, the opportunity, the conviction here is as clear as can ever be. Not on hype, not on BS, not on like I want to feel warm and fuzzy inside, not on a level like that, but on, once again, I'm going to show you guys a couple posts from Wrath Economin, one of the OG researchers in the space. Huge shout out to Wrath Economin. Every single day, our community is pressing and exposing the corruption on one end, fighting the legal battle. We're on that front, that battlefield with John Deaton and the other lawyers. But on the other end here, we're just looking and watching the pipeline being laid, right? And so actually, what I'm going to do here first is I wanted to pull up this tweet that I shared here earlier today. This sets the tone for what we're watching with all of the suppressed assets, waiting for this thing to roll over. I know it's tough to be patient. I know we're feeling the pain in a bear market recession, but I said, this is how I view XRP. The roots or pipelines keep growing while price stays under $1. Then in the blink of an eye, we have the sunglass, we got the shades on, and the rocket emoji, because the rest is going to be history. And we look at this. This is a bamboo tree shared by Ian Binns. Okay. And what you see here is a bamboo tree in the first 5 years. Doesn't grow much up top, above the soil, above the ground, with what you can visually see, right? Doesn't grow that much, but underneath it's establishing those roots. And then after that, in about 6 weeks, it takes off to a place that it's never been before, and it never comes back again. And that's what XRP, that's what the setup is for me, right? And so I understand it's tough. We're getting impatient, but continue as a community to understand there's no reason for us to lose conviction right now when we're so close to the finish line of a staged lawsuit, when we're so close to regulations in the United States and setting the whole world free. And of course, in tonight's episode, when I go through the distribution, where XRP is going, it's going outside of this country. Right, just like all the innovation, just like all the advancements here, as far as tax-free jurisdictions in UAE, as far as other countries moving forward with crypto legislation. Last week it was MICA by Europe. Fantastic, great stuff. Where's the XRP going? Where's the gold going? We're going to cover it all, folks. It's all tied together, and I understand. I know it's getting tough, but we're right here, right towards that finish line. So hang on, folks. Now let's break it down here. Tonight we're looking at 27,700 for Bitcoin, 1868 for Ethereum, and then we have a 4697, nearly a 47-cent XRP. XRP made a little move back up today. Let's look at the sticks here on Bitcoin. So I'm watching this. This is the daily chart, Bitcoin, Qcoin. You guys see what happened. We dropped 12% since the most recent high that we hit there at 31,000. Back down below, we come down to about 27K, and we dropped 12.5%. Now, if you guys have been with me in the Discord group, you know the charts, you know the setup that we're watching. If you've been tapped into this community on YouTube, you know, make sure you smash that thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the lives, because over the last week, I was calling this move that we saw right here. I said it could easily be done. The energy's coming in. The timing is right. The moon is right. The stars are aligned. Sure enough. And I got mad, and I FOMO'd in because I was upset that I didn't trade that. I called it perfectly, and it came through perfectly. Could have executed a short on that one, but we missed an opportunity. But I'm not going to FOMO in. And I did describe the next trade setup that I'm, looking at to my Discord group. I share that in real time. If you guys are looking to get tapped in over there, head to my website, zachrector.com. Okay. It's not a trading group. I don't do trading courses. I'm not a trader in any sophisticated type of way. But the program's worked out, and so we just do that in real time within the Discord community. But I'm going to get into kind of where this market's going here after we go through the current events, guys. A lot to cover here tonight, so let's go rapid fire with it. Sunday night session. Thank you for coming in here tonight. Like I said, had a couple glasses of wine at dinner with the fam, and we are feeling good tonight. We're going to be rocking and rolling, though, because we got a lot of business to cover. Tapped in here, 9 o'clock on the West Coast, midnight East Coast. For those of you guys that are going to wake up tomorrow, this is going to be a fresh episode, and you guys are going to want to stay tuned for the whole thing because we got a lot to cover. God bless all of you guys. If you haven't already, let's smash that thumbs up. Thank you. This is an embarrassment. Let's get right on into it, guys. Check it out. Democrats will not host 2024 presidential debates, assumingly due to Biden's declining mental stability. What in the world is going on in this country? Digital Asset Investor shares this one. He says, I will bet dimes to donuts if you dig here, everything we have watched will begin to make sense. Look at the documents below after watching the video. All roads lead to... I probably shouldn't name that country, but folks, the criminal corruption at the highest level is getting completely exposed in real time. This isn't a joke. It's not a meme. And I can't explain what's taking place in DC, in our White House with Joe. But folks, listen in here, right here. It's about to break. All of it's breaking.
One source sends me this. One of the huge benefits the Chinese may well have paid for was then Vice President Biden presiding over the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, an MOU, on May 7, 2013, between our Public Company Accounting Oversight Board and the Chinese Regulatory Commission to waive federal auditing requirements for hundreds of Chinese companies listed on U.S. exchanges. Was that part of it? Thousands more traded in our markets, all in violation of U.S. federal securities laws.
There are 6 specific decisions that Joe Biden made, either as vice president or president, that are very concerning to us, that we believe could potentially lead back to payments that were made to these LLCs that were then laundered down to the Biden family members. So
one source sends me this. One of the huge benefits the Chinese may well...
Folks, right there, 2 points. You guys see 6 acts. He's not talking about we may have him on something. There's a little speculation here. 6 acts while Joe Biden was in, a capacity here to make a decision, do a deal, and he's receiving payments on the back end. This is criminal corruption at the highest level, and it's getting completely exposed. It's getting blown wide open, and it's going to distract a lot of people from the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, okay? But for us, what we continue to say is understand the current events, how to break it down, and how it's going to apply to us so that we can invest and prepare accordingly. But don't let us distract us from taking advantage of this opportunity. What you see here, what we've been talking about. I just saw a Netflix documentary. I forget what it was called. Something about China and all of the companies that were getting listed on the New York Stock Exchange, the stock exchange over here in America, and just how corrupt and phony and scams that continue to get launched and brought public in our markets, right? And all the promoters, all the peddlers got behind these things and they rode this thing up. And it was after the great financial crisis when everyone believed that China was the greatest, thing since sliced bread and this country was going to take us into the new world, which they've had some success. Obviously, a lot of the numbers, a lot of the data, a lot of the story that we're trying to get out of that country is difficult to get. And so when I go through some of this current event stuff, I can either confirm nor deny. I'm just sharing what's being shared here on, this is a Fox News. This is mainstream, though. That's the point, folks. This is mainstream. Mainstream acknowledging everything that we've been talking about here for years. And it's coming and it's accelerating the pace of the, drip, and a flood of liquidity, a flood of truth that's waking people up. And Right here, what you're seeing is I don't even like to say the names, right? Biden and the family, what they did was just wrong on so many levels. And that's the nicest, most polite way to say it. For those who know where we're coming from and what we've seen and what we found and what's about to be released. And we thought it would never happen. And it's been so tough as an American to watch our country erode from within. It's been embarrassing. It's been sad. It's been tough. And, obviously the economics are the economics. It's tough out there, right? But even for someone who's rooting for America, so just the common person here that wants to see us have an opportunity, you're looking at what they're doing and you're just thinking, do these people hate this country? What is going on here? Now, let's continue on, folks. We got a lot. I can neither confirm nor deny this, but we got to cover it. Ukraine war update. This story is just about the biggest since the war began. Radio silence from the mainstream media. Why? Because in retaliation to an attack on a Russian town, Russia used a hypersonic missile which took out a strategic underground bunker filled with NATO chiefs. Listen in right here, folks. I can neither confirm nor deny this, but take a listen.
Business news are going to be kept quiet.
I'm sorry, I was trying to Google what you said was the news, which I didn't hear about. What is that news before I let you go?
That's after the Ukrainians staged a sabotage mission in Bryansk Oblast, part of the Russian Federation, in which several people were killed. The Russians staged a revenge attack with using, for the first time, 6 of their hypersonic missiles, which are called Kinzhal. One of those struck near Lvov, or Lviv, that is the western capital of Ukraine. And this conventionally armed missile, because of the laws of physics, that is taking mass and velocity, give you enormous impact, which enabled that rocket to descend and destroy a deeply built concrete bunker where 300 top Western and Ukrainian officers have been managing the communications on behalf of NATO in Ukraine.
So you guys see why the mainstream media is not going to cover that, not going to admit the L for the Western countries, right? Fighting this war, this proxy war. We got to keep a tight lip when we talk on this topic, which is unfortunate, but you guys know exactly where we're coming from and what we've seen and where we stand at as Americans. We're tired of seeing our good men and women serve our military for a cabal central banking military service, military industrial complex that does not serve the interest of the American people, right? And so what you're seeing over here is weapons of war that really humanity hasn't seen yet. And so I just continue to pray. I don't want to see this thing escalate. This is really unfortunate, okay? But you're seeing that they've been completely exposed with the new files that got dropped, and they said that was Russian disinformation, of course, about them taking way more casualties than had been initially reported, how bad it was getting over there for Ukraine and the Western forces. And it's not that I want to see, either way, there's no winners here in war other than the interest, the financial interest, the cabal interest behind the scenes here. And you guys are watching that, right? It's getting exposed. And I just, it blows me away. The amount of money that we've been able to send over there while we're facing the debt ceiling crisis. We have the currency crisis and the liquidity crisis, banking crisis exposing with the country eating itself and eroding away from within. And we've been managing to send tens of billions of dollars to this country to fight this proxy war and to get involved in another country's affairs. And so, like I said, even if you support the war, even if you support the cause, even if you support the benefit program and you want to be a nice person and support something and change your profile picture and be real cute, we're broke. We're broke. Okay? We've met the limit. We're going to raise it once again. The Republicans want a $1.5 trillion raise as long as they get their goodies. And they're going to come together, do a happy, slappy deal, raise the debt limit once again. But folks, what does this mean for the average citizen? Your dollar's done. Your dollar's done. And so this is accelerating. We're about to cover a couple of the other countries moving. It's a daily occurrence. Countries announcing deals outside the US dollar, moving away from the dollar, right? Meanwhile, the average citizen here, who wants to play a game and go woke and change their profile picture and act like they're supporting the cause or doing anything that matters in the world at all by changing your profile picture to a banner. What are you doing? How's your program working out? It's a complete failure through and through. I already know. And so that's the problem here in the United States, is that most of us are in this camp of just wanting to get out of other people's affairs, but we continue to have our military industrial complex running the show here. Now, I think that we've been embarrassed like we got in Afghanistan, completely embarrassed on the world stage. But then you're seeing when it comes to the deals, when it comes to the currencies, the countries, they're not waiting for us to get embarrassed further. They've already turned away, even our allies. And so this is stuff that's undeniable. Even if you think that it's not as bad as that, and we need to continue supporting Ukraine because Putin's such a bad guy, or whatever story you're telling yourself, the reality is undeniable, and that's the rest of the world's done with our BS. And we've lost the US dollar hegemony. It's undeniable at this point, and how it's going to affect the average citizen here in America is undeniable as well. And that's where our community's been tapped in, taking action, preparing, and investing accordingly. Let's continue. Now, you guys see it right here, folks, right here. The White House, this is the embarrassment on the world stage here. The White House has said that there is some evidence that China wants to see the US dollar weaken as an international reserve currency. There is some evidence. There is evidence on a daily basis. But remember, this is what gets fed to the mainstream doofus moron who's about to get taken out completely by the financial tsunami that's hitting this country. The average doofus moron tapped into mainstream media is just now getting on board. And they're not going to make it on board the train, like we say with that joke, with that meme. They're not making it on the train. There's countries that are. BRICS nations right here. Look at the deals that they're doing. New Development Bank now offers loans in local currencies instead of US dollar. This is the BRICS New Development Bank, folks, and it's accelerating. Happy slappy deals taking place with those guys. Look at them, how cheerful they look. And you got about another 100 countries on top of that have joined this alliance. Now, Echo de True shared this one. I thought this was critical to look at right here. He says, "This is my family's native currency, the Vietnamese dong. It hyperinflated, as you can see." And he's showing right here $500 bills. I think those are 500, or are those $500,000 bills? I don't know. Wait until but he says this, and this is what's important. Wait until they decide to join Zimbabwe, which was the most recent country. We covered that this morning. Zimbabwe, and back their currency by gold too, on top of getting accepted by BRICS. And then we see in this one, gold saving Bolivia. Bolivia bonds see best weekly gain on gold bill. Central bank has nearly $3 billion worth of gold reserves, could potentially buy the country some breathing room. The nation's dollar bonds due 2028 jumped 12 cents to 60.8 cents on the dollar. And so you're seeing right now, when everybody's going to reset, when everybody's going to find a standard, what can we peg our currency to? Gold. It's Zimbabwe. You're going to see it in Vietnam, some of these other countries. Now, I shared the video this morning talking about Zimbabwe releasing their gold-backed digital currency, right? And I said, I hope that America doesn't have to go through a hyperinflationary crisis like Zimbabwe did with their currency for us to go to a gold-backed digital currency, for us to go back to a reset, restructured, revalued currency, back to sound money. So I hope that we don't, right? We're well away, well off from that. We're, we're a long ways away from being at that point. Hyperinflation, okay? But they are lying about how bad it is. They are lying about the CPI data, of course. And you're seeing, though, what are these countries going to? They're going back to gold. And so we're going to find out after we reset this whole financial system and after we establish new reserve currencies, who has the gold and who has the real value, the real utility, the real commodities. I suspect and I believe that XRP is actually going to be a part of this. I know that's crazy to a lot of people, But you have something with a limited supply, tremendous amount of utility, tremendous amount of liquidity out of every form of value on the internet of value. Think about that. It's not just currencies. It's not just CBDC liquidity in and out of different countries, cross-border payments. It's derivatives. It's tokenizing the whole world. And you have the best liquidity. So that network that's getting built out too with the institutions that matter is what's going to move, serious amounts of value on a daily basis. Gold, you guys are seeing, is getting set up right here. I'm about to show you guys a couple points on gold and silver, but I've been warning my audience. The problem that we have right now is that we had a deficit last year in 2022 for silver. We're seeing the central banks might buy more gold than they have in 50 plus years. And so the vaults are getting drained and the premiums are going up, and your time to get these assets is potentially running out. I'm not trying to make any FOMO, and I'm definitely not going to give anybody financial advice. I just show you guys what I do, and then I warn you guys the stories that I'm hearing from my good friend Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. It's not a joke. It's not FOMO. I need your guys' support. Please go use my link down below. We have links down below. We can help facilitate it. Roll over your 401k retirement account. Get metals shipped directly to you. I have friends in higher places that got the gold. They got the silver. They can help you out. Okay? But the stories that they're telling me are shocking. And the supply is getting tight. So if you're looking to make a move, folks, get prepared here because the setup is incredible. And we're seeing the rest of the world find that standard back with gold. For 2,000 years here, you guys are seeing these precious metals stand the test of time. Shared here by Peter. 2,000-year-old hoard of Roman silver coins may have been hidden by a soldier during a bloody civil war in Italy. The archaeologists who investigated the hoard of 175 silver Roman denarii, the equivalent of tens of thousands of dollars in today's money. Right there, folks. Right there. Very little decay, still solid as ever. I know people tell me that I'm going to wear my metal because I'm always touching and holding up and flexing my little bars here, that I'm going to wear them out. And that's fine because we got a purpose here. But you guys are seeing it. It's standing the test of time. And as we come into the new age, even with all this digital currency, DLT technology, quantum financial system, what are we going back to? God's money. God's money. If you don't believe in God, then whatever, the creator of gold, whoever it was, whatever vibe you're catching, right? We don't want to offend anybody, but we're going back to God's money, gold, silver, 2,000-year old, and it's still worth, right? Plenty of money. But like I said, folks, watch out here because this setup is interesting. Robert Kiyosaki shared this one. Gold to crash. Steve Van Meter, whom I respect, predicts that gold crashes to $1,000. He states the markets are tired of waiting for gold to go higher. If gold drops to 1,000, I will buy more. I'm an investor, not a trader. To me, gold, silver, and Bitcoin are real money. To me, cash is trash. And that's where I'm at too. And I don't worry about price, collapsing short term. I've already been through it with XRP, right? That's no big deal. I didn't lose any sleep and I bought more, just like Robert says, because our conviction is pure. Our understanding of sound money is pure. It's sound. And that's the problem here, right? Is that people get fudded out. People can't afford it. They overinvested. They over-leveraged. They found a riddle and they put all of their life savings in. And although we like doing riddles, we have fun, having some jokes, having some riddles, decode the reality that, it's like a staged reality that we're watching unfold on a daily basis. You just ask, how is this possible? But folks, I am warning our community, on the macro level, I still think that we have a lot to clean out. I got some more data points to show you, but I want our community to be prepared because even if we see the metals pull back, remember how big of a deficit we had last year, right? So it's going to get bought up quickly. These suppressed assets have serious amounts of support. Now, $1,000 gold is pretty drastic to me. I don't think that that's happening. I think that we have too much support. But I understand his point about people's patience running thin. And then if the overall market and economy gets worse, we are in trouble. People will sell off assets. People will sell off real estate. If their 401ks are getting wiped out, they're going to have to sell off those assets to try to preserve them. I see a super chat. Johnny Lakers 626 10 spot. Thank you. I appreciate that, Johnny. Zach, do you think that we will be able to buy again under 30 cents? Potentially, but like gold, silver, all these assets, they have major support. So it's going to have to be bloodbath to take us down to those levels, which is possible. I don't rule that out, right? And you guys see that it's happening quickly in crypto. See, crypto is different. These precious metals move a little bit slower, much more established. But crypto, in the blink of an eye, we can get wrecked and go down to below 40 cents in the blink of an eye here. XRP, crypto, it's not out of the weeds. The only thing, and see, this is the problem, guys. Even though there's potential for a serious pullback in the market, I believe that we are going to get a serious pullback. I'm getting ready to, place my next bet for that. Although we're ready to see that, you can't get the supply. The supply is running out if you're a serious player, right? And then, collectively, right, we had a 200 million ounce deficit of silver, and I think that a supply shock is coming in for XRP as well. So that's the problem. That's why I don't wait around. I've been buying, I've bought XRP all the way up to $1.20, all the way, well below 30%, 30 cents for most of my bag, still in profit today. I've bought XRP all the way up to $1.20. Right. And for silver, and like Robert says, he's an investor, not a trader. For silver, too, this for me is an insurance policy. I watched a video by George Gammon talking about how precious metals. He said the gold bugs have it wrong. That was the title of his video. And he was explaining that short term, because we're going to have a recession, an official recession, it'll finally be okay for us to admit that it's a recession after people are getting absolutely killed in Main Street and having to, give up their businesses and sell their real estate assets at a big loss. We're going to finally be able to admit that it's a recession, and then gold drops at these points. These moments where the Fed starts to pivot, gold drops before it goes back up. And in George, he said the gold bugs have it wrong because we got a short-term dip or a short-term pullback before we launch to levels, new all-time high. So that's kind of the setup that Robert just alluded to. That's what I'm seeing, George sees. And it's another pullback because the situation is that bad for the rest of this year. It gets tight. We have more pain before we get set free. XRP's in the stage of lawsuit. That's the situation over there. Now, I want to play this clip right here. This explains why we are going into a recession. Another data point right here from Rob Kynes. Breaking. Money supply growth fell to a 50-year low in February. I explain it in 1 minute. And remember, folks, so the way that they create money, inject money, is they're lending it to the big banks, and then the big banks lend it out to you. That's how money gets put into circulation. And so you're seeing the money supply is going down, and Rob Kynes here, he shares this and breaks this down in 60 seconds. I'm going to let this play. Here you guys go.
Another interesting story from the Mises Institute talking about the fall of money supply, and this is critical to understanding the economy. Money supply growth fell to a 50-year low in February. Will the Fed panic? When money supply flow slows down, recession hits. We need liquidity for this Keynesian economic system. Not that I'm advocating that should be, but that's what we have. And I know for that system to work, you have to have ever increasing amounts of liquidity and debt in the system, or then it crashes. When you have money supply growth falling to a 50-year low, it is going to affect the state of the economy. Looking at the graph from the Mises Institute, they have their own measure of TMS. They also measure the state-issued M2 money supply issued from the Fed, and you can see it is just cratered dating back to the pandemic. It went up in the pandemic, money creation, and then right after the pandemic, we just sucked it all back out, and this is affecting the economy. This is one of the reasons why the economy is faltering, because you don't have that easy credit and that easy money, and companies are having to survive on their own and struggling. And that is a large reason why we're in this recessionary cycle.
Yep, absolutely. That's a very good breakdown. Now, coming into this week, folks, we got some events to watch out for. Check it out. Kobesi letter. Key events this week: consumer confidence data on Tuesday, new home sales Tuesday, Q1 2023 GDP data on Tuesday. That's going to be interesting. Excuse me. It's going to be very, very interesting to see that data. Q1 2023 GDP data. Then we get the March PCE inflation data on Friday. Mega cap tech report earnings. And then we have about 15% of the S&P 500 companies reporting their earnings. It's a great week to be a trader. And that's why I was saying, I talked with my Discord yesterday about the setup that I'm watching. I'm looking to make my next trade. This is going to be a very interesting week. Russia says that China is paying for natural gas using the Chinese yuan rather than US dollars. Russia also said the crude oil trade between China and Russia includes settlement in the Chinese yuan. We have now seen 30 plus events challenging the US dollar this month. And like I said, when I'm saying that there's a country a day, an event, a trade deal per day, I'm not joking. I'm not clickbaiting. It is real. We now have seen 30 plus events challenging the US dollar this month alone. However, the US dollar remains the dominant currency by far, as we say. I don't think that the United States is going to lose the number one spot, but it ain't the same reality that America is used to, i.e. our standard of living is going to be changing as well. America's banks are missing hundreds of billions of dollars per The Economist. You don't say, right? We know through the FDIC that they only have about 2%, or is it 1 or 2% of the deposits actually on hand within the system in the banks. And so we know it's all, we know it's all, yeah. But see, this is the problem, is that we still have people that think that the banking crisis is over. I was just listening to Jim Rickards this last week. He said that it's not 600 billion, it's 800 billion in unrealized losses for the banks. So think about that. Their balance sheet, negative $800 billion. And then as far as the deposits that they have versus what they're supposed to have, the deposits that they have on hand, the reserves that they have on hand versus the deposits, liabilities that they're supposed to have, about 2%, right? 1 or 2%. So this situation is not done. It's not over. It's just that the Federal Reserve Treasury has said that we have a backstop for the big boys and girls. We won't let them fail. Systemically important, which means more inflation. So strap in. Wall Street Silver says this: have housing prices come down much in your area? If you expect housing prices to decline still, how much are you expecting? Real home prices are up 102% since 1970. Real incomes only up 26%. Housing bubble 2.0. Look at this, folks. The home price growth is that yellow line, and the income growth is this blue. 26% from 1970 to 2022 in income growth, 102% in real home prices. Shocking, folks. We have a ways to go here, folks. Stay ready, because the mainstream media is finally just getting people tapped in, finally admitting how bad it's going to be. U.S. housing may see a 2008-style correction as 20% of the market could be mispriced. Delta Terra's Capital Dave Burt has said per CNBC. That's like the Federal Reserve saying that we're going to have a mild recession, right? When they say that we're going to see 20% of the market could be mispriced. Yeah. Try doubling that, maybe even more, in my opinion, right? So we have a long ways to go, and that's all of our opportunity right here. Because I was talking with my Discord group yesterday. For us, when we get to walk into the bank with a good deal on paper, when we got a business that we're going to go buy, when we got a real estate deal that we're going to go buy, and we're a real player, we got a strong financial statement, we got good income, we got a good deal, and we go to the bank, they are going to be begging for our business. Right now. And as you guys are seeing, you guys got a bad credit score, you're going to get an even better interest rate on your mortgage. So congratulations. We're now rewarding those that are a little bit more irresponsible with their credit, right? It's completely upside down and backwards. California tried to give everybody money for their down payment on their house over there in California. The program was no down payment, right? But the state gets to collect that down payment money when you go to sell the property. The program ran out of money in about 10 or 11 days, I think. That program didn't work out. All of these programs, 40-year mortgages, are literally, just one more injection to keep the patient alive, numb the pain a little bit further. We got a dead corpse. There's no turning around here. And we have to correct, we have to restructure, reset. So there's a lot at stake here with the real estate deals. We are definitely getting ready to move. I think towards the end of this year, already we're starting to see the market get saturated, start to turn. The only people that are really moving property still in a major way is the builders, and that's because they can do concessions, and there's ways that they can write down, your loan, your interest rate. They can offer you special deals as the builders can, and so you're seeing them still able to move some properties. But we've got a little bit of a spring rush going. I got a full real estate update for you guys coming on the way, though, so make sure you guys are tapped in on that. We'll cover real estate in a different session. Let's move on into crypto, though, folks. We got some good ones here for you. First off, we're looking at Ethereum. How's this program working out? Cheers, everyone. The cost to run an Ethereum full node is out of reach for most people. The cost to run an Ethereum validator is out of reach for nearly all people. The Ethereum staking model will naturally trend towards centralization through entities like Coinbase, Kraken, and Lido, which offer staking as a service. The cost of the hardware for a full node with Ethereum is $1,600. With Bitcoin, it's $150, they say. Running an Ethereum full node is already out of reach for many people, but when you factor in staking, it gets even more unaffordable. Since 32 ETH, which at today's price is about $60,000, is required to participate in Ethereum staking, it costs significantly more for an individual to participate in staking ETH compared to mining Bitcoin. The cost of the Ethereum validating versus Bitcoin mining. An Ethereum validator is $1,600 plus $61,000 equals about $62,600 to become an Ethereum validator. For a Bitcoin miner, Bitmain S19, you're looking at about $2,000. Since nearly all people can't afford the cost of home validating, the staking model naturally trends towards centralization, right? Because you're going to rely on these centralized entities to offer you your staking, okay? And so we have Coinbase, Kraken, and Lido. See, Lido here, 26.6%. And then we have an unknown. Don't you just love to see that? An unknown validator confirming 23% of the network. 7% for Kraken, 5% for Binance, and 12% for Coinbase. And now remember, they don't even have clarity. I didn't even think that they still had staking platforms going on for Ethereum, but maybe they do. Maybe they think that they have a free pass with Ethereum, and so they're allowing it. But I guess, and this is what we warned about from the very beginning with the Ethereum 2.0 flop, the merge that was just an embarrassment for the cryptocurrency space to 2.0, is that it just made the network more centralized. And we talked about this proof of stake. In most cases, it just moves towards centralization. The people with the most money run the most of the network. Now, in regards to Ripple, and as we titled this episode, XRP Distribution Continues. So we're going to talk about it. What we have here, Ripple CTO David Schwartz clarifies XRP pre-funding strategy amid debates. So check out this article, folks. This was David Schwartz in the comments here today. Okay, he's taken to Twitter once again. Ripple CTO David Schwartz has taken to Twitter to clarify the company's pre-funding strategy for XRP, a subject that has been the focus of recent debates. In response to a thread discussing Ripple's Nostro Vostro accounts and pre-funding, Schwartz explained that instead of pre-funding in every market, customers can pre-fund in just one account and make payments to any on-demand liquidity destination market. Schwartz also highlighted the flexibility of Ripple's system, stating that customers can hold their funds in their preferred asset and pay in a different one. This is called servicing your clients. He emphasized the difference between parking USD to make US dollars versus Mexico payments versus pre-funding Mexican to make US dollar Mexican payments. And this flexibility allows customers to have more control over their funds and reduce the need for multiple pre-funded accounts. Regarding the line of credit options, Schwartz confirmed that Ripple can pre-fund accounts using their own XRP at very near zero cost. However, the company does take on some credit risk and must charge for that accordingly. In this scenario, the responsibility is shifted to Ripple for a fee as they provide the pre-funding capital in XRP. So basically, Ripple is providing the Nostro Vostro account. You just fund the account for ODL, and then you get to get paid out in any currency in any payout market that you want. This is called servicing institutions and banks and building out real liquidity, folks. Despite Ripple taking on some credit risk, shorts admitted that there is a non-zero risk that the customer will not pay the company back for the XRP, particularly if a customer's funds are held in a bank that fails or go bankrupt for some reason. But remember, the cost of their XRP is basically zero. They were gifted it for free, right? So this all starts, and this article was written based off of this exchange where, once again, we got this troll scam detective posting some funny stuff, posting some clown emojis, thinks that he's a smart guy. To solve the made-up Nostro Vostro pre-funding problem, you can open a RippleNet account and then open up Nostro Vostro accounts or several digital asset exchange accounts and pre-fund them. And David Schwartz comes in and clarifies here. The idea is that instead of pre-funding in every market, you might want to make a payment in. You can pre-fund in just one account and make payments to any ODL destination market. It also means that you can hold in the asset of your choice and pay in a different one. Parking USD to make US dollar to the Mexican currency here. Payments is a very different situation from pre-funding Mexican pesos to make US dollar to the peso payments. Oh man, it makes me happy. It just brings me joy to my heart to see David just correcting the trolls and those that try to FUD XRP. David just comes in and sets it straight real quick, and we love to see it. Now, like I said, folks, it's picking up with the XRP distribution, and you're seeing the on-demand liquidity partners fire up outside the United States. Of course, Wrath of Kahneman, we got a couple here. From November through January, Ripple formally announced several new corporate payment partners and ODO users in addition to AI and NFT initiatives. MFS, Africa, FOMOPay, TravelX, etc. Understandably get the views, but pay attention to the holiday announcements too. Check it out, folks. New corporate payment partners. You guys see a list there, 5 of them. New ODL users. We got another 18 and more. So you guys are seeing they are ramping it up. And he says, Wrath of Kahneman says, these are all pure payment plays, not mentioning the CBDC and stablecoin discussions. I haven't combed through the swell material yet. So for all the people that are trying to FUD it out, oh, they're building CBDCs on a private ledger, doesn't use XRP. These are, what is that, 20 plus partners since November of 2022? You know, just over 5-6 month period, 20 plus new partners using ODL XRP, not RippleNet partners. Don't try to FUD us out. Okay, get clear on the facts. These are institutions, banks, and partners that are using XRP, ODL, and they're using XRP for other utility as well, treasury flows, capital management, and you guys are seeing 20 plus new ones since November 1st through January. So that's only through what is that? That's 3 months, November, December, January. Through a 3-month period, another 20 plus partners. Don't you just love to see it? Now we have another one here, Wrath of Kahneman. Check it out. Portfolio, Ripple now lists Oceanus as a partner on their landing page. Announced as an ODL partner in November. Who is Oceanus and why would they use an XRP? Why use an XRP using product? Starts slow but gets very interesting towards the end. And we got a little thread here. Let's get this out of the way up front. The preceding pick is from their 2022 annual report, as is most of this info. They went nuts with the Ripple theme, but they are an aqua farm company, so not a Ripple advert. Okay. And he says they are a small global food tech company listed on the SGX, established, known for aquaculture, farming, processing, packaging, and distribution of seafood products. Ripple announced a number of these ex-border food trade companies as ODO users. For instance, now this is another thread. He's sharing this, and this is, basically more cross-border food trade companies as ODO users. But we move on. 2022 was a big year for Oceanus. First, sales rose dramatically, about 85 million, up 63%. But so did costs given the cross-border FX challenges, among others. They lost money expanding as infrastructure grew and their product line expanded, largely meat shipped to China. Now we see this. But the big news for Ripple is an all-in tech effort launching Oceanus Digital Network, Odin. Synergizing the capabilities of subsidiaries on one platform, a managed marketplace solution helps sellers alleviate struggles by eliminating cross-border trading, friction, and risk. That's pretty interesting. Omni-channel advantage through cross-pillar synergy. There you go. Ripple isn't mentioned directly, but Odin relies on a further innovation, Odin Pay. The description makes it obvious this is where ODL is in play, especially given the line of credit capabilities. So they are using ODL XRP. At first, this platform is available to Oceanus subsidiaries, seen here. Notice the various currencies and locations represented. You got Australia, RMB, TDW, SGP, etc. ODL will be in use here and offering line of credit to buyers across borders, so they've made Ripple's front page source Google. And this is where Oceanus gets weird. AP360 Marketing, Resolute Communications, Cappy Communications. It turns out that besides Fish, Oceanus has significant arm of media marketing companies, a media group featuring tech-forward Resolute. Interesting. They've leaned into VR, 2028 clear response to in-person restrictions, and done HP showcases. Here they mention products and check out the B2B digital exchange in the corner, a blockchain core. Is it an early version of Odin Pay or more? And now their tech initiatives include immersive media solutions, seeking to be Asia's leading VR provider. You just know these guys walk around the office nodding and muttering metaverse to each other. They are also building Shopfront.club, a direct-to-consumer platform to create a seamless shopping experience for customers without the upfront capital costs of owning inventory. It sounds like Ripple's ODL could work here too. So there is a real question if the marketing VR arms of Oceanus will find synergy with Odin Pay or Ripple in general. Honestly, it's kind of wild, from aquaculture to VR marketing. And there you have it, folks. There you have it. Okay. And so Ripple is advertising Oceanus Group's ODL use. And you're seeing this is a company that's going much further, expanding. It's like every day we're covering Ripple partners that are continuing to expand, buy out their competition, and just grow, right? Especially the ODL users as well. Now, we're seeing it right here, and it's ramping up in Asia. It's ramping up around the world. We got the word from Neil Hartner that ODL was growing outside the United States like wildfire, and we never looked back. And now we see articles like this. Ripple. This is from AMB Crypto. Ripple, how Asia is fueling XRP distribution amid American pushback. With a solid presence providing cross-border payment solutions in Asia, Ripple has been rewarded with a hike in XRP adoption. Can this get better? Okay. Ripple's partnerships in Asia seem to be paying off. Since XRP's last rally, more addresses have joined the bandwagon. According to data acquired from XRP Scan, the number of active XRP accounts has surpassed 4.5 million wallets. There you go, folks. 4.5 million wallets. Now, you got to times that 4.5 million by 10, and that's going to give you how much XRP is locked up just in creating those wallets, just in the minimum wallets amount. Like I talked about, I think that a supply shock is incoming for XRP here soon. That's already 4.5 million times 10, and that's going to give you the amount of XRP that's tied up just to create wallets. And then go look at all the other trust lines that tie up 2 XRP per trust line. That's all XRP that's getting tied up, along with all the other deals. But I digress. With a large percentage of these accounts coming from Asia, as expected, Ripple, the blockchain payments firm, accounted for being the largest holder of the token. Binance held the second position with a couple of billion of XRP tokens. However, a notable percentage of XRP's distribution is the amount held by the Asian crypto community. To drive this point further, consider this. Let's take a look. Says right here, Upbit, the South Korean exchange, also holds millions of XRP spread across different wallets. So you see that they love it in South Korea. Thanks to the freedom of occupancy, Besides a desire to hold the token, Ripple's presence in the region could have impacted this trust. This firm has previously partnered with various financial institutions while acting as a remittance provider. Ripple's main partner in Asia is Japan's SBI Holdings, which has a significant stake in the company. This has led to a massive increase in XRP usage in the country. In 2021, organizations including CentB, GME Remittance adopted RippleNet to foster cross-border payments. Thus, a hike in real-world use cases across the continent laid the groundwork for further adoption of the token. Another reason for the Asian input are the regulatory challenges the project has been facing in the US. As the matter lingered, Ripple seemed to shift its focus from considering the Joe Biden-led nation as its mainstream base. So it was not surprising when trading activity on the Upbit exchange tremendously increased and fueled an XRP rally a few weeks back. Despite struggling to replicate the form in recent times, active addresses have also jumped on the charts, right to new all-time high 4.5 million and growing. Ascending the throne from quick attention. At the time of writing, Sentiment revealed that the 90-day XRP addresses had a reading of 1.27 million. The metric measures the number of distinct addresses that have participated in an asset transfer. On-chain data further revealed a rise in transactions since 19th of March. Therefore, growing interest in XRP was clearly evident from these metrics. On the other hand, the spent coins age bands decreased to 34.57 million. This metric summarizes the behavior of both short-term and long-term holders, alongside the token's price action. In this instance where the metric has fallen, it means that short-term investors are mostly accountable for XRP's price movement. While this does not negate long-term input, it is a sign of how short-term holders have been overlooked and are now prompting into action. In conclusion, though Ripple's case with the US SEC is not yet settled, it seems the company has other options. As more financial institutions in Asia continue to adopt XRP, the cryptocurrency's distribution and usage are likely to continue growing. Nothing can stop what is coming. This thing is moving rapidly, folks. You guys already know the deal. So if you guys like this content, if you guys like the message that we're putting out here, not based on hype, not based on FOMO or FUD, we're trying to provide clarity. We're bringing facts, we're bringing data. And like I showed you guys at the very beginning with the bamboo is growing just the roots for the first 5 years. And then in 6 weeks, it starts to actually sprout above ground. That's what we're seeing with XRP price. The pipelines are being laid, all the infrastructure is being laid, right? The roots are growing and expanding. Everybody's getting fudded out. We have a recession. Times are tough. People overinvested, right? They bought too much XRP and they bought too many memes, too many NFTs. Now they're liquidating. And meanwhile, business is growing for Ripple. XRP on-demand liquidity growth growing, and you and me are both waiting to build on top of the XRP ledger after we watch what happens with the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, right? And we're waiting to get clarity in this country. The rest of the world is already moving. Their train's moving pretty dang fast, right? And we're about to get left behind. Hopefully here in the United States, we have something up our sleeve, but we find a common theme. Every country moving back to gold, pegging it back to gold. And some of these countries like Zimbabwe here today, which people want to make a joke. They think these countries don't matter, but they're missing how important these points are. When Saudi Arabia is willing to pay Kenya in their local Kenyan shilling for their commodities, that matters. When Bangladesh is able to skirt sanctions and pay Russia in the Chinese yuan, that matters. When Zimbabwe goes to a gold back or offers a gold back digital currency, that matters. And so it was funny. We see memes of them taking wheelbarrows of cash to the grocery store to now their country has a gold back digital currency offering before the United States. And we got good guy Gary Gensler protecting us, right? Now, get tapped in with the community, folks. It's all over there at my website, zachrector.com. And we got precious metals, cryptocurrency. Get in touch with us. We'll help facilitate that. And then we will see you guys in Vegas. We will see you guys in the Discord. I appreciate everyone that's joined us here. And we're about to celebrate 2 years in Vegas, turning up. Hope to see you guys there, okay? Having a lot of fun. God bless all of you. Let's smash that thumbs up on the way out, okay? We'll see you guys in the next one.